Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about something extraordinary, something that shapes our world every single day. If I ask you, which country is the most powerful in the world? I'm sure many of you will immediately think of one name, America. But the real question is, why? Why is the United States of America the most powerful nation on Earth? What makes it so dominant in economy, military, technology, and global influence? Is it just luck? Or is there a much deeper reason behind its success? In today's video, we will uncover the full story of America's rise to power. This is not just history. This is a journey of ambition, war, innovation, and global leadership. We will explore everything from the very beginning. How America was born, how it grew, and how it became the superpower it is today. Stay with me till the end because this is going to be the most informative and enjoyable explanation you have ever heard. And of course, this is also a great opportunity for you to practice your English. So let's begin. To understand why America is the most powerful country in the world, we need to go back to the very beginning. And when I say the beginning, I don't mean 1776 when the United States officially became a country. No, we have to go even further back, to the discovery of America. The discovery of America. For thousands of years, North America was home to Native American tribes. These were advanced civilizations with rich cultures, traditions, and ways of life. But the world outside North America didn't know much about them. That changed in 1492, when an explorer named Christopher Columbus set sail from Spain, hoping to find a new route to Asia. Instead, he arrived in the Americas. Although he wasn't the first European to set foot there, Vikings had visited earlier. Columbus's journey was the beginning of something much bigger. The colonization of America. After Columbus, more and more Europeans started coming to the New World. They were looking for land, gold, and new opportunities. The Spanish, the French, and the British all wanted a piece of this land. But in the end, it was the British who would change America's history forever. The 13 colonies. By the 1600s, British settlers started building colonies along the east coast of North America. These were known as the 13 colonies. They were controlled by Britain, but the people living there had their own ideas. They wanted freedom, opportunities, and a new life. However, Britain still ruled over them, making laws and collecting taxes. Over time, the people in the colonies started feeling oppressed. They believed they should have the right to govern themselves. This frustration eventually led to something huge: the American Revolution. The American Revolution. In 1776, a group of leaders, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin, decided to declare independence from Britain. They wrote the Declaration of Independence, a powerful document that stated that America would be a free country. But Britain didn't want to lose control so easily. What followed was the American Revolutionary War, a battle between the American colonists and the British Army. The war lasted for 8 years, but in the end, America won. In 1783, the United States of America was officially recognized as an independent nation. It was a brand new country with big dreams, but at that time, no one could have imagined that this small new nation would one day become the most powerful country in the world. The expansion. After gaining independence, America was still small, but the leaders had a vision. They wanted to expand westward and build a strong nation. Over the next century, America grew rapidly. The Louisiana Purchase, 1803. The U.S. bought a huge piece of land from France, doubling its size overnight. The westward expansion. Settlers moved west, searching for land and opportunities. The Gold Rush, 1848 to 1855. Gold was discovered in California, attracting thousands of people and increasing wealth. The Industrial Revolution. America started developing factories, railroads, and cities. By the late 1800s, the U.S. was no longer just a small new country. It was becoming an economic powerhouse. The Civil War. One of the biggest challenges in American history came in the 1860s with the Civil War. The country was divided over slavery. The southern states wanted to keep slavery because it was essential to their economy, while the northern states wanted to abolish it. In 1861, war broke out between the North and the South. It was a brutal conflict that lasted 4 years. In the end, the North won. Slavery was abolished, and America became a stronger, more united nation. But this war was just another step in America's journey to power. After the Civil War, America exploded with economic growth. The late 1800s and early 1900s were known as the Gilded Age. During this time, railroads connected the entire country. Factories and industries grew rapidly. Big businesses like steel, oil, and banking flourished. New inventions like the telephone and electricity changed everyday life. By 1900, America was one of the wealthiest and most industrialized nations in the world. After winning independence and rapidly expanding its territory, the United States had already proven that it was a strong and ambitious nation. However, becoming the most powerful country in the world didn't happen overnight. It required economic strength, military dominance, technological advancements, and global influence. One of the biggest reasons America became so powerful was its Industrial Revolution. During the late 1800s and early 1900s, the United States transformed from an agricultural society, where most people were farmers, into an industrial powerhouse. This was a time of massive economic and technological growth. Several key industries boomed, and America started producing goods at a scale never seen before. Major industries that made America powerful. Steel industry. America had rich natural resources like iron and coal, which were used to produce steel. Steel was essential for building railroads, bridges, skyscrapers, and military weapons. A man named Andrew Carnegie became one of the richest men in history by making steel affordable and widely available. Oil industry. Another billionaire, John D. Rockefeller, controlled the oil industry. Oil became the lifeline of the economy. It powered machines, factories, and eventually cars and airplanes. Rockefeller's company, Standard Oil, made America the biggest oil producer in the world. Railroads and transportation. America connected the entire country through railroads, making trade and travel easier. It allowed businesses to transport goods quickly, helping the economy grow even more. Factories and mass production. The development of factories and assembly lines, introduced by Henry Ford, made it possible to produce goods faster and cheaper. The automobile industry exploded, and America became the largest car producer in the world. By the early 1900s, the U.S. economy was booming. It had more factories, more resources, and more innovation than any other country. This gave America an economic advantage over its competitors. World War I. Although America was already becoming a dominant force, it was World War I, 1914 to 1918, that truly pushed the country into global leadership. At first, America stayed neutral in the war, watching as European nations fought each other. But in 1917, the U.S. decided to join the war against Germany and its allies. Here's why this was important. America had a strong and growing military with modern weapons. It supplied Europe with food, weapons, and money, which made its economy even stronger. By the end of the war, Europe was destroyed, but America was thriving. After the war, America became the richest country in the world. While other nations were struggling to rebuild, the U.S. was booming with new businesses, new technologies, and a rising middle class. But this was just the beginning. World War II. Even though America was doing well after World War I, things changed in 1929 when the stock market crashed, leading to the Great Depression. During this time, millions of Americans lost their jobs, businesses shut down, the entire economy collapsed. It was one of the worst economic crises in history. However, America's ability to recover from this disaster proved its resilience. Then came World War II, 1939 to 1945. At first, just like in World War I, America stayed out of the war. But in 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, forcing the U.S. to enter the fight. Why was World War II important for America's rise to power? America became the arsenal of democracy. While other countries were struggling, the U.S. became the world's largest producer of tanks, airplanes, ships, and weapons. Factories were working 24/7, producing military equipment at an unbelievable speed. This not only helped America win the war, but also created millions of jobs, pulling the country out of the Great Depression. In 1945, America became the first and only country to use nuclear weapons in war. The bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki forced Japan to surrender, proving that America had the most powerful military technology in history. No other country had nuclear weapons at that time, giving the U.S. an unbeatable advantage. By the end of World War II, America was not just a strong country, it was the strongest country in the world. The Cold War. After World War II, America had one major rival, the Soviet Union, Russia. This led to the Cold War, 1947 to 1991, a period of intense rivalry between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. America wanted to spread democracy and capitalism, while the Soviet Union wanted to spread communism. To prove its superiority, America built the world's strongest military, created alliances like NATO to protect Western countries, invested in science and technology, leading to the space race, expanded its economy by becoming the world's biggest exporter of goods. The Cold War finally ended in 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed, leaving the U.S. as the only superpower on Earth. In the late 20th and early 21st century, America once again took the lead in global innovation. The digital revolution was driven by American companies, including Microsoft. Bill Gates dominated the computer industry. Apple, Steve Jobs, revolutionized personal technology. Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Tesla became the leaders of the internet, e-commerce, and artificial intelligence. The U.S. dollar. One of the biggest reasons why America controls the world is because of the U.S. dollar. Almost 90% of global trade is conducted in U.S. dollars. Countries like China, India, Germany, and Japan all store large amounts of their money in U.S. dollars. Oil and gold, the two most valuable resources, are traded in dollars, which means every country needs dollars to buy them. But why is the US dollar so powerful? The petrodollar agreement. In the 1970s, America made a deal with Saudi Arabia, one of the world's biggest oil producers. The agreement was simple. Saudi Arabia would only sell oil in US dollars. This meant that every country that wanted oil had to first buy dollars, making the US currency even more powerful. The Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, America's central bank, controls the supply of dollars worldwide. If America wants to weaken another country, it can print more dollars or change interest rates, making it harder for other economies to compete. No other country has this level of control over the global economy. The global reserve currency. Almost every major country stores its wealth in US dollars because they believe it is the safest currency. This makes America incredibly powerful because even when other countries grow, they still rely on the US financial system. The US military. America has the largest and most powerful military in the world. But what makes it truly unstoppable is not just its size, but its global reach and advanced technology. Why is the US military unmatched? The US has over 750 military bases in more than 80 countries. This means America can strike anywhere in the world within hours. No other country has such a widespread military presence. The US spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined. It has the most advanced fighter jets, drones, submarines, and nuclear weapons. It leads in AI-powered warfare, cyber defense, and space military technology. The US Navy is the largest and most powerful in the world. It controls every major ocean and trade route, making it impossible for other countries to challenge America's dominance. The US is a founding member of NATO, a military alliance with over 30 countries. If any country threatens the US or its allies, NATO forces can respond instantly. Because of this military strength, no country dares to directly challenge the US. It is the only nation that can project its power anywhere in the world, at any time. In the modern world, data, social media, and artificial intelligence, AI, are the real sources of power. America controls all of them. AI is the future, and America leads in AI research and development. Companies like OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and NVIDIA are creating AI models that can revolutionize warfare, healthcare, and finance. This keeps America ahead of every other nation in technological power. The SWIFT banking system. Most global financial transactions go through SWIFT, a system controlled by the US and its allies. With control over the internet, AI, and global finance, America can manipulate economies, influence elections, and shape global events like no other country in history. McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Nike are symbols of American culture worldwide. Even in countries that oppose American politics, its brands are still everywhere. The English language. English is the global language of business, science, and diplomacy. Most major universities, tech companies, and global institutions operate in English. Because of this, people who want to succeed in the world must learn English, indirectly increasing America's influence. One of the key reasons America is considered the most powerful nation in the world is its massive influence on global culture. The US has shaped entertainment, fashion, language, and even lifestyle choices across the planet. Hollywood is the most influential film industry in the world. American movies are watched in nearly every country, and they set global trends in storytelling, filmmaking, and technology. Blockbusters like Titanic, The Avengers, and Avatar have broken international records, proving that Hollywood's influence extends far beyond the US American films promote ideas of democracy, freedom, and ambition, influencing how people view life and opportunities. Even countries with their own film industries often incorporate Hollywood's storytelling techniques and special effects. American music has dominated the world for decades. From Elvis Presley to Michael Jackson, from Beyoncé to Taylor Swift, American artists have set global trends in pop, rock, hip-hop, and jazz. The influence of American music is so strong that even non-English-speaking countries have artists who try to break into the US market. American television shows such as Friends, Breaking Bad, and Stranger Things have gained millions of fans worldwide. Streaming platforms like Netflix and Disney Plus are headquartered in the US and distribute content globally. This constant exposure to American entertainment spreads not only the English language but also American values and perspectives. Even daily habits, such as drinking coffee on the go, wearing jeans, or working in an open office environment, have been influenced by American culture. The way people think about success, entrepreneurship, and social mobility is largely shaped by American ideals of hard work and ambition. The US was the first country to land a man on the moon in 1969, proving its superiority in space exploration. NASA continues to lead the world in space technology, developing new missions to Mars, launching satellites, and partnering with private companies like SpaceX to expand space travel possibilities. America has been at the forefront of the digital age. The creation of the internet, the rise of social media, and the development of artificial intelligence have all been driven by American companies and institutions. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have changed the way people communicate, while Google has made knowledge accessible to everyone. The US is home to the world's leading medical research institutions, such as the Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins University. Many life-saving treatments, vaccines, and medical technologies have been developed in America, improving healthcare worldwide. During the COVID-19 pandemic, American pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer and Moderna led the way in developing vaccines at an unprecedented speed. The American economy is the largest in the world, with a GDP of over $26 trillion. It is home to the world's biggest companies and attracts investors from all over the globe. American companies have a presence in almost every country. The United States exports everything from technology to agricultural products, making it a key player in the global economy. Entrepreneurship and business leadership. The U.S. is the land of opportunity, where small startups can become billion-dollar companies. This culture of innovation has produced some of the world's richest entrepreneurs, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bill Gates, whose companies have changed the world. One of the most defining characteristics of America's global dominance is its unwavering commitment to freedom and opportunity. Throughout history, America has provided a stage where talent, hard work, and innovation can thrive, regardless of a person's background. The country has been a beacon of hope for millions seeking a better life, and this openness to new ideas and people has fueled its incredible success. Unlike many other powerful nations, America does not define its strength solely by its land, military, or economy. Instead, it thrives because of the people who call it home. America has always welcomed dreamers, thinkers, and doers from every corner of the world. People like Albert Einstein, who was born in Germany, and Elon Musk, who was born in South Africa, came to America and found an environment that allowed them to turn their ideas into reality. The country attracts the best minds because it fosters a culture of endless possibilities. In many nations, strict social hierarchies and rigid traditions limit people's ability to break free and succeed. America, however, thrives on meritocracy. If someone has a groundbreaking idea or an entrepreneurial vision, they are not held back by their family background, caste, or class. Instead, they are given the tools and resources to succeed. This is why some of the most successful business leaders, scientists, and artists in history have emerged from America. One of the key reasons why America remains number one is its unparalleled innovation ecosystem. The country leads in technology, medicine, space exploration, and artificial intelligence. Cities like Silicon Valley are hubs of creativity, where the world's brightest minds come together to push boundaries. The government's commitment to research and development ensures that the country remains on the cutting edge of innovation. Beyond innovation, America maintains the most powerful military force on the planet. With an annual defense budget that surpasses the next several countries combined, the U.S. military is an unparalleled force in air, land, sea, and space. The U.S. Navy ensures that global trade routes remain open, the Air Force dominates the skies, and the Army and Marines protect American interests across the world. The presence of U.S. military bases in different parts of the world reinforces America's influence and serves as a deterrent against any threats. With the rise of other global powers, some question whether America will continue to dominate. However, history has shown that America has an unmatched ability to adapt and evolve. Its economy, military strength, and cultural influence make it highly unlikely that any other nation will surpass it in the near future. As long as America continues to embrace innovation, diversity, and democracy, it will remain the most powerful nation on Earth. As we've explored in this series, the United States is undoubtedly a global powerhouse. Its economy, military, innovation, and cultural influence make it one of the most dominant nations in history. But does that mean America is perfect? Absolutely not. No country is perfect. Every nation has strengths and weaknesses, and the United States is no exception. Let's take a moment to talk about some of the challenges America faces today. 1. Home ownership and wealth distribution. The American dream is often associated with owning a home, but the reality is different for many. As of recent data, the home ownership rate in the U.S. is around 65%, meaning that 35% of Americans still rent or struggle to afford a house. The wealth gap is also growing. While some people accumulate billions, many Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The top 1% of Americans own more wealth than the bottom 90% combined, highlighting deep inequality. 2. Healthcare system. The U.S. is one of the most advanced countries in medical research, but healthcare remains a major issue. Unlike many developed nations, America does not have universal health care, meaning millions of people struggle to afford medical treatment. The average American spends more than $12,000 per year on health care, making it the most expensive system in the world. Many people avoid going to the doctor because of high costs, which leads to worse health outcomes. Obesity and health issues. While the US is known for its fast food culture, it comes with a price. Over 40% of Americans are obese, leading to serious health problems like diabetes and heart disease. Compared to other developed nations, the US spends billions on obesity-related illnesses, making it a growing crisis. Education and student debt. America has some of the best universities in the world, like Harvard and MIT. But higher education is extremely expensive. The average student graduates with over $30,000 in debt, and many spend decades paying it off. Unlike some European countries where college is free or low cost, American students often start their careers burdened with heavy loans. Homelessness and poverty. Despite its wealth, the U.S. has a significant homelessness problem. Over 600,000 people experience homelessness on any given night, with many struggling to find shelter, food, and health care. Major cities like Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco have seen rising homelessness rates due to expensive housing and lack of affordable solutions. Lesson to learn. So, what can we learn from this? No country is perfect. America is powerful, but it has challenges just like any other nation. Strength does not mean perfection. Every country has its own struggles, whether it's poverty, inequality, or political issues. Instead of just praising or criticizing a nation, we should focus on learning from each other. America's innovation, opportunities, and global leadership are inspiring, but other countries excel in areas like healthcare, education, and social welfare. The real power lies in understanding, improving, and respecting each nation's strengths and weaknesses. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more daily videos. See you in the next one.